This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Friday, January 13th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. Gary Chicago International Airport is seeking nearly $10 million in state funding to increase its fuel capacity. Executive Director Dan Vicari said the airport, which currently has its fuel trucked in, could use the funding to pursue pipeline networking opportunities that would create a major competitive advantage.
When you have the fuel trucked in, it's in smaller batches, right? And you more or less, you bought the fuel. Once it's in a truck, it's yours, and it was at that price, right? Whereas if you are connected to the pipeline network nationally, that allows you to have a couple things. One is now you have more or less unlimited capacity for fuel. And the second thing that arguably is more important is that you have the ability for your users to basically hedge fuel, get into hedge contracts.
He said the airport is also undergoing a fuel master plan to help better accommodate the growing needs of its two fixed-base operators. Missouri-based Rail Crew Express is planning to lay off 70 employees in Indiana next month. The company, which provides transportation services for railroad crews, said its contract with CSX is being canceled, and it will permanently close locations in Avon, Evansville, Lafayette, Terre Haute, and Vincennes. The F-16 Fighting Falcon military aircraft is returning to Fort Wayne's Air National Guard Base, replacing the A-10 Thunderbolt II currently stationed there. The 122nd Fighter Wing has been approved for conversion to the F-16 as part of the fiscal year 2023 National Defense Authorization Act. Brigadier General Michael Stoller, commander of the Indiana Air National Guard, said the transition will provide the fighter wing with longevity and the high probability to later upgrade to the future generation of fighter aircraft. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Don't miss your chance to nominate a worthy business or community leader for IBJ's 40 Under 40 Awards. It's one of our most prestigious awards programs celebrating the accomplishments of leaders under the age of 40. We're on the lookout for people who have achieved a level of success that is rare at a young age. Who will be named to this year's class? We need your input. Learn more and submit your nomination by January 13th at ibj.com/nominations.
Whether it's a new hire or a noteworthy promotion, IIB's Big Wigs and New Gigs serves as a platform to promote your team. Our revamped offering includes being featured on both the newly redesigned newsletter and at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Subscribers to the Business News subscription save $10 off every listing. Plus, you can save $100 by bundling your submission to IIB with the Indianapolis Business Journal or the Indiana Lawyer. More at InsideIndianaBusiness.com.
The new president of the Indiana Sports Corp says 2022 was a big year for sports in Indianapolis, and the future continues to look bright as preparations continue for major events in 2024. The city capped off the year with the Big Ten football championship in front of a sold-out crowd at Lucas Oil Stadium, but Patrick Talty told Inside Indiana Business the organization also spent the year looking ahead, including the potential for Indy hosting a future NFL draft.
We're working closely with the Colts on that future, and we've put a letter of interest in for future years. Obviously, 27 would be one that we're interested in, and into the 30s. And we'll see. That process hasn't kicked off yet, but one thing we'll do is we'll work our tails off to make sure that we put our best foot forward and try to get that winning bid.
But for the events we know are happening, the city is continuing work ahead of the 2024 NBA All-Star Game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse and the U.S. Olympic swimming trials at Lucas Oil Stadium, both of which Talty said will be important for showcasing Indy.
The NBA All-Star Game is one that will give us access to a new audience. It's an international event. It's one that is kind of a crossroads of music and fashion and sports, and it's a brand new audience, and I think we'll do it better than anyone else. So it's really important because we get to show Indy on a global stage. And then the swimming, it's that Olympic movement. And it'll be 9 nights of primetime coverage on NBC of us showing why Indy is the best place to live, work, and play. And so I think those events are really, really important to everyone to be able to see what Indy is about and how important it is and how great a city it is. And hopefully people will come down and enjoy the events.
California on Thursday announced it will sue the companies, including Indianapolis-based Eli Lilly and Company, that make and promote most of the nation's insulin, accusing them of scheming to illegally increase the price of the drug and demanding they return millions of dollars to some diabetics who state officials say were overcharged for the medicine they must have to survive. Attorney General Rob Bonta sued 3 companies who make insulin, which also include Novo Nordisk and Sanofi, and 3 companies who manage prescription drug programs that provide insulin: CVS Caremark, Express Scripts, and Optum Rx. Bonta said the manufacturers raise the price of insulin in lockstep with each other. The prescription drug managers then negotiate with the manufacturers to get a percentage of that price in exchange for prominently promoting their high-price insulin over cheaper alternatives. The Stark County Economic Development Foundation is looking to boost accommodations for travelers with a new hotel in Knox. The foundation is looking for investors for a 50 to 60 room hotel along US 35 on the city's south side. Executive Director Lisa Dan said a new hotel has been needed for several years.
We actually have a hotel here, but it has not been opened since before COVID, and I am not aware of plans for it to reopen. We've had a couple investors who have come to town. We're interested in perhaps purchasing the current hotel and renovating it into a nicer brand, but really have had no luck there.
A recent feasibility study showed demand for a new hotel from local businesses was high. The foundation said currently there are no open hotels on US 35 between LaPorte and Logansport. Indiana Dunes Tourism Executive Director Lorelei Weimer is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.